Can you remember how you felt the last time you threw away a perfectly good game to a stupid blunder? Right, I know I can. So I sought expert advice on how to fix this. Grandmaster David Norwood recognises two distinct forms of blunder. The first is the one mover. Take a look at this position. So he was black in this position. He's in check. He's going to lose the rook, but he's got compensation. It's absolutely fine. But all he could think about in this position was, shall I play king to c7 or king d7? And he spent 15 minutes making that decision. Decided he didn't like both of those moves. Picked up his king. And this is an over the board tournament game. Played, king to d5. His opponent seemed to start, and then he sort of mumbled under his breath. He picked up the rook. He played rook e5 checkmate, and David Norwood didn't realise it was in checkmate, right? He still was so occupied and preoccupied with the one move threat. Knight takes, knight takes. It's all he could think about is those 15 minutes. I move here or here, knight takes. He just never ever considered the rook check and mate in the position. Had he done so, right, he would have obviously found this move, checkmate. So what he recommends in positions like this is to do a quick blunder check. Before you make a move, just look again at the position fresh and look if there's any sort of forcing moves, such as checks, captures or threats. He reckons if you just do this blunder check after every move, you eliminate most one-move blunders. Second type of blunder, he says, is when players lose their sense of danger. In this position, one of David Norwood's students, and that student was Steve Davis, by the way, snooker legend, played an awful move because he lost his sense of danger, and he played with black to play. Can you make the blunder in the position? Steve did. He played queen takes, a5, and after pawn takes, the bishop can't take back because of the discovery check, losing the queen. To avoid losing your sense of danger, Norwood recommends looking at tactics from your opponent's point of view and trying to get into that good habit. The good news here is that if you are good tactically, it should just be a case of twisting that around and looking for weaknesses in your own position. Master Gregorian has an excellent blog post on this topic. I will put the link in the description. I particularly like two things about this. I really like his section on staying hyper-focused and hyper-focused at the chess game, right? Eliminating distractions, not looking at anybody else's chess game, solely focusing on your own chess game, like even physically blocking out other people, complete 100% focus on the chess game. I also like this idea of calming down in stressful situations. I know there's a couple of blunders I've made in my game when I've been stressed and I've rushed and I've made a blunder. Instead of just calmly sitting back and thinking, hold on a minute, get into the zone, right, think carefully and then move. I know I've done that, and this is definitely good advice, and you can read the whole thing, and we'll put it in the description. And as ever, the coach and National Master Dan Hman has some excellent advice for amateurs wanting to reduce their blunders. These include: avoid playing hope chess. Hope chess is where you make a move but you don't really consider your opponent's reply. Hand waving, that is where you're making a move on general principles without really, analysing the position. Lazy chess, I suppose you could call that one. The quiescence era, where you stop calculating short. You could calculate, but you just don't. You stop calculating short, and then you make a blunder. You realise there was something at the end of the line. But playing too fast or too slow, so not playing to the time controls. If you play too quickly, you're obviously going to rush and make blunders. But if you play too slowly, you're going to find yourself in time pressure at the end of the game. So it's about playing at the right speeds. And then the flube, and this is playing carelessly because you're up in material, perhaps overconfidence. So there's a few tips there, but all of them come down to one thing, right? Mental focus. It's all about mental focus on the chess game and getting into good habits, looking at opponents' threats, and hopefully we can reduce those blunders.